Hi everyone and welcome back to Arctic RC, today for TopRcHobby.com, and we finally got a plane that we have been waiting almost a year on. We have the ASW28. This is a 2-meter wingspan sports glider. So let's take a look what's in the box and then talk a little bit about it. Every time I do an unpacking of these bigger planes from TopRcHobby, I really get surprised what you get in overall quality. Of course, I've been opening this box because it had some minor dents during shipping, so I wanted to make sure that everything was okay before I showed you guys this. But anyway, you have the manual. We are going to go through that a little bit later. On top here we have the wings. Beautiful. And as you can see, you have ball link. That is cool. You have protectors for the servo. You have servo cases, which means that it's easier to replace the servo. You have flaps and ailerons. And you have mounts on the tip of the wing for the winglets that we are going to check out a little bit later. Next wing. Here you have the winglets. They come in 2 pairs. That means if you lose one or break one, you have a spare one. 2 left and 2 rights. Click them in and push them backwards so they stick to the plane. You can also choose to glue them, but then it's more of an hassle to get them off if you break them. So, red winglets. And then we have the horizontal stabilizer. This is something that is a concern of me all the time when I get these types of planes. And with that I mean a T-tail plane. Because I always wonder how much flex it is, because you really want them to be as stiff as possible, and that is for me now to find out and for you guys to find out as well. So here also bowling connectors, cool. And here you have the CNC metal rods. These ones are screwed into the fuselage of the plane and you can just push the wings on it. I'm not sure why they chosen CNC, because this will create a little bit more weight than necessary. Look at this. She is really, really beautiful. Folding propeller, detachable hatch, insane amount of space here. You can use a 4-cell battery from 2200 to 3600. I have some 5000 laying around, so we're going to see if we can fit them in here as well. And of course, the best thing of everything when you're cold or on your fingers is that you don't have to fiddle around with wires, because this one has a quick connector on both sides, which will be a time saver when it's cold outside. Usually these quick connectors comes with Y cables inside. I'm going to change that, but we can talk a little bit about it later. And the reason that I want to remove the Y cables is because I want to have individual settings for the flaps and the ailerons, so that I have more control and that I also can use the flaps as ailerons if I like to. So the foam that comes with the plane is actually great to use, because you can use them as a cradle when you are fiddling with the plane. So we are going to use these ones, and I'm just going to add some small modification to them and just make a half a circle. That's cool enough. So when you have done that, you can put the plane on here like this, and you're good to go trying to figure out stuff in the plane, and you can move it not scratching the plane and so on. So packing material is also good for working material. So before we start mounting, let's do some technical babble. It has a wingspan of 2020 millimeters, 2000 millimeter without the winglets. The length is 1165 millimeters. The weight is about 1800 grams. It has an 840 kV motor, 40 amp ESC. Approximately flight time is 10 to 15 minutes. And you can use a 4-cell battery from 2200 and up as long as it fits. And we are going to check out how big of a 4-cell you can fit in this plane and also fly with. It has 6 9-gram digital metal gear servos. It comes with plug-in connectors, so easy connect the wings when you get to the airfield. Functional flaps, and of course a folding propeller, ball link, control horns, and protection for the servos as well. So I'm going to check now if there is Y cables coming from the connection easy connector ports, so that I can replace them before I bind the plane to my receiver of choice. This plane come in different types. That depends on the store selling them and what sort of plane they have ordered. This is a PNP version. That means that the only thing that I need is a receiver radio of my own choice and of course the battery. You can also buy them RTF. That means they comes with a radio and a battery, but that was not an option for me now. As you can see on the side here, you have some plastic which is there to connect the wings, and that is for me a little problem because we know that cold and plastic isn't a good solution, but it goes the whole way around, and hopefully there is a possibility to buy these separately. I will definitely check it out in case they break, but it looks like they are easy repairable, or it's easy to change them. So let me see. Here we have a load of, that one was new. That was sort of cool. Here you have for the flaps. You can see that they have got this plug. You have the male here and the female here. And the female is a bit bulky connector with 2 slots for the type of servo. I never seen these before. Cool. That means that they made Y cable, but easy to remove them. Also, the aileron comes with this type of Y, not a Y cable, it's a Y plug. It's a dual plug from 1 to 2. Cool. That means less work for me when I'm installing the receiver in the plane, and everything is just okay. Battery connector from the ESC is the, what do they call them? XT60, which means that they will fit with my new Spectrum batteries. Cool. And as you can see, the battery compartment is rather big. So let's find a bigger battery and see if it fits the compartments. So here you have a 2200 milliamp 4-cell battery, and here you have a 4000 milliamp 4-cell battery, and you can see the size difference. But this 4-cell 4000 milliamp battery I'm sure will fit in the battery tray. Fits super well, no problem at all. And you can even, yeah, if you remove the Velcro straps, which has occupied almost a centimeter together on both sides, you will be able to even put a bigger battery in here. So check this out. No problem. So 4000 milliamp it will be. Of course we need to check the CG and everything. That's the first thing we are going to do. But that's now sorted out. We can use that one. We were talking about the winglets that comes with this one. And here we need this one. The wing itself, you can fly it without the winglets, but the professionals say that it will be more stable with the winglets. I'm not sure. I haven't read too much about it. So what you're going to do is just put on the side here, like this, and push them backwards, like that. And of course you can easily put a little piece of clear tape on here and on the bottom as well, just to make sure that they stay on place. But they look quite cool. They really look cool. And under the wing as well you have servo protectors, servo arm protectors, and you also have tip protector on the wing tips. That's cool. We are going to put one of these wings on the plane now, just to see how these are working. Yes, to tighten them. And here is another cool thing. When you tighten this rod, there's no movement in it. With an ordinary tube, it will wander and be a little loose. Really excited about this. I'm so looking forward to test fly this one. It's been on my wish list for a long time. Especially after I did fly the Fox. There were many things that I didn't like about the Fox, but I won't talk it down because it was a beautiful plane. Such a cool sound when you dived with it and you came in, and this whoosh-like sound that you heard. I hope this one is just as great. The wing leading edge looks thinner. That is a good thing. And the overall wing shape is beautiful. There's some small damages on the wings. You can't see them right here now, but it's not being handled well by the postal system. So I'm sorry that this video will become a bit long, but this is a request from you guys that you want a more in-depth video of the planes, and I will try to give you that. And as you can see here, I don't have a lot of room. You will have two holes here for mounting the screws, and yes, they were together with two pieces of Velcro for your battery. Red Velcro. But the most important thing for me now is the screws. And we have 4 thick ones and 2 thin ones. The thin ones are going to be on the T-tail. So we are just going to get a screwdriver and mount the wings. If you can't align the screw or get the screw down with on the first attempt, do not try to use force, because if you break something, you will end up needing to glue the wing in place, and you don't want to do that. So just make sure that you align. If you are 2 on the airfield, make sure that one pushes the wing in while the other one puts down the screws. Let us do the other one, even though I said we shouldn't. I think we'll be able to manage. Yes. So cool. So sorry, putting the wing over the camera. Let's see here. So here she is. That is insane. Okay, I guess 3 meter one. The Jesus. The Fox 3 meter was also a big airplane, but this one really has a shorter body. So now we are going to mount the T-tail, the horizontal stabilizer. Also here you have the servo connector, and you have a quick connector here. The main thing here and the trick is to make sure that you put the right colors in the right spots. Another good advice is to set up your plane with the battery and receiver, and then connect this one so you can see if you are putting it right into the slots. And also put some tape over the connectors so that they won't come loose during flight. Thin clear tape will do a lot, and it won't take too much place. And just make sure that nothing binds when it comes to the cables. That is super. So what concerns me is that it's too much wiggle on these ones, and the top isn't really that wiggly, but there also is a fix for this if it becomes too movable or sort of too loose, and that is to use support that comes from the tail bottom and up to the wing ends here, and you can use carbon tubes or rods. We are running short of light due to we don't have any lights or sun in the winter period, so without any further ado, we're just going to try to fly it, set it up, and of course we will go back to the working bench and talk a little bit more about the plane overall. So let's just fly.
Det er greit. Og balanseror. Opp, ned, opp.
Ja. Vind der.
Har du motoren i 2 eller?
1, 2 og fast.
Det er full gass da du tar.
Ja. Godt. Ja. It's so beautiful.
Hej då, han flyger ju fint. Løft han høyere så du ikke kan tilføre han stål ut. Jeg tror han gjør det. Og gi gass på nå.
Det var meningen der.
Ja, ok.
So this was the first flight. Had to trim it up a bit because it was a bit nose heavy. You can see how much rudder I have or a horizontal stabilizer. So I need to add some weight to the tail or go down on battery size. Perhaps that's the best thing to do. Other than that, with full flaps and about 20% down elevator, it brakes fairly good during landing. So I'm not going to do anything about the elevator mix now. It's perfect. The only thing is that I need some guiding lights, and the reason for that is due to the flat light here. It's so hard to see the plane. Der.
Da er vi klar.
Ja.
Armert.
Ja.
Oi, helvete.
Ja, han er utrolig kjipt.
Litt høydere over den. Without flaps.
Yeah, without flaps.
Yep.
But imagine how beautiful it would have been with flaps.
Damn.
So there you can see 2 pilots on 1 plane. Vidar is more used to flying slope soaring. I'm not that familiar with sailplanes. I do like motor gliders though. Beautiful. It's a bit snow in the air, and it's pretty dark. Actually, you can't see it because the ISO is really kicking in, and I guess I have to use a lot of neat video to get rid of all the grains during the edit of this video. But as you can see, she is so beautiful. Landing. Landing. Woohoo! I'm not sure how much we were able to film. I'm going to do one more flight just to do some passes. It is responsive, but it also reacts to the wind. I have no expo. This is something that I will add for the next flight. But overall, she takes off great, no problem tossing it. Make sure that you have half flaps. She will go about 45 degrees up, and just turn the flaps off when you are good in the air. I really like it, but it is nose heavy right now because I'm using 4000 milliamp 4-cell batteries. I guess in the manual it says 2200 to 3300, so there is an extra weight in the nose, and which is not hard to fly. Not at all, but it's hard to fly in this light, and the plane is pure white, some red wingtips, but that doesn't help me at all. So we are back now from the airfield. We have a big problem, and that is daylight. We have about 1 to 2 hour daylight before it gets dark again, and when it's cloudy we don't have enough light at all. And I'm filming with the worst low light camera there is on the market. But anyway, we tried to film with the GoPro 10 and of course the camera. Hopefully I could do good work with what we have. We didn't do too much fancy stuff with the sailplane or the motor glider, but like those final setups and trims to make it fly good. We used the 4000 milliamp 4-cell battery from Spectrum, and that made it a tad nose heavy, so I had to add some up elevator, and after that she flew great. Another problem today was a bit turbulent wind at the airfield. There was a bit snow in the air, so overall the test went fine, and I can say that it lived up to my expectation because I've been waiting for this one. It has an insane amount of power. It will do vertical climbs, no problem at all. The rudder surface for the flaps and the ailerons, they are superb. They are wide and they will attack and give you a lot of authority. So make sure to use a little expo in low rates so that you will be able to control it. We flew it without expo, without dual rates, and she was a bit agile in the wind pockets that we flew in, but other than that, no problem at all. The side rudder, less authority. I don't know why. I think that I don't have enough throw on it, so I'm going to give it a little bit more. When it comes to the horizontal stabilizer, or as we used to call it, the elevator, more enough authority, but then again, when we put it into dive without any power, you got this cool sound. But when I was going to take her up again, and this is the first time that I have experienced with a glider, is that when I pulled the elevator or the horizontal stabilizer, she moved to the left. There can be fine-tuning there can be some fine-tuning there, but if you have any suggestions, please state them in the comment below. It can also be that it is a foam model. There is some flex in it, but other than that, she flew super great. And as you can see in the video as well, we did let Vidar fly the motor glider. He's used to flying slope soaring without motors on the plane, of course, and he is used to another setup with the throttle and so on, where you put brakes in the throttle, and yeah, you use the stick in a whole other way that than I am used to. So I need to fly it the way that I like, and other people can fly it the way they like. But the flaps, full flaps, is all that it has for the servo to stop, and I added about 19% down elevator in the mix on full flaps, and she brakes super clean when you are going for a landing. You can bring down the speed so much on her and no problem. Vidar did take a landing without the flaps, and you can see the difference. He used the whole runway, whilst I could land it in about 3 meters. So, well, I love flaps. The other thing that I really want to have on this plane, or perhaps TopRcHobby could implement into the plane in an updated version, if they're going to do one, is light. It's only the winglets and the end of the vertical stabilizer that is red. Other than that, it's just pure white. And now during our season, which is about 5 months with snow, I believe that I need to do some color adjustments on it so that I can see it better. But I will keep you guys updated on what I'm doing. I'm definitely going to add some nav lights on this one. It really deserves it. It's a beautiful plane. I'm also thinking about adding a blue LED light in the canopy. But we're going to fly these more. In the middle of December, the light will turn again, and we will see the sun again in January, in the end of January, and we will have better days, more sun, and we will for sure fly this. But if I can get some lights on it quite quickly, I'm going to take it up to the first water. If you go into my videos, and you can see the water flight with the FMS Super Cub, this water is full of ice and snow now, and it's so beautiful to just fly low and slow over this water. Perhaps also add some camera on the plane, make more beautiful shots. That is what I wish to do. But other than that, this is an amazing model, and as I was saying earlier, it fulfilled every expectation that I had about it. But there will always be a difference between foam models and composite models, for sure. So, but I really like this one, and I hope that it will be my winter model, of course, together with some of my other easy to go with in the car models. There's nothing bad to say about this. I love the quick connectors. I love that it is a lot of space in here, and for you guys which are FPV enthusiasts, you have so much room in this one that you can do whatever you want. And even under the plane you have this vent hatch where you can also put a lot of stuff inside so that you can control your FPV equipment. But anyway, the total package, I really like it. And I'm glad it found its way to Kirkenes finally. So I flew my turn with a 4000 milliamp 4-cell battery, 30C, and when I'm checking it, I have about 70% left. That's after about 5 or 6 minutes. So with steady flying, you can easily fly 12 to 14 minutes with it. When I filmed Vidar, we changed the battery, and when I was checking that battery, it had left 86% after about 5 minutes of flight, because I did landing after he was done, so about 5-6 minutes. But he flew a bit less aggressive than I did, so 4000 is good, and it's not that power hungry as a lot of other plane is. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will put the info for the ASW28 in the info section, where you can check it out on the homepage for TopRcHobby.com. And of course, you can check it out by Google it, and you will see what store has it in stock if you want to try it out or buy it, of course. So until next time, bye!